Oh, I think every fighter in this is happy to have Jon Jones in the category category because Jones is a goat. He's a real goat. So to have him in the division, I imagine if tomorrow I fighting against him, probably it's gonna be really crazy, really hype on the fight. So more money, everything with this, you understand? So I'm happy to have him in this division.
Ty, you mentioned there about Jon Jones. How do you see him returning and at heavyweight?
I've said it before. Jon Jones is a goat. He's one of the greatest to ever fight. We all know this. But as a heavyweight, we don't. No one really knows. I'm sure that he's still Jon Jones. He's still his talent and his skill is great. But heavyweight's a different kind of league. You know what I mean? And we don't know. We have to wait and see.
And you said that he's one of the greatest of all times. Do you see that as a potential matchup for yourself, maybe later down the line?
I'd love to fight him. Said it before. This is why I do this. I want to. One day when I wrap up this whole fighting gig, I want to say I fought this guy and that guy. The best guys. I don't want to come out and I didn't have the opportunity to fight the best. So I'd love to fight Jon, and I'd love to knock his head off as well. It'd be pretty cool.
I don't care about that. Like, I'm tired of talking about. I don't want. This isn't shit. I don't want you guys to be like, "Oh, Blaydes is talking shit about Jon Jones." I don't care. I'm tired of hearing about someone who's not officially a heavyweight until he steps on the scale and it says 240 whatever. He's not a heavyweight, so I don't want to discuss it.
Jon Jones, is he on the team? Is he off the team? Have you seen him in the gym? Can you give us an update from your point of view on Jon Jones?
That's one of those things I don't really go into too much detail on. Some of the coaches are still working with him, but he trains not in our gym, so I haven't seen him training in quite some time. But I know he's still been really active. So we'll see what happens with that.
Just here. You mentioned briefly there about Jon Jones. I know you said you haven't really got a chance to see him in training, but how do you think he does when he returns at heavyweight?
I think Jon Jones has a way to just make it happen all the time. So it's kind of hard to, you see him go through every time you think it's going to be the biggest challenge. And then he, walks out with a victory. He knows how to win fights. So, we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
I think he'll do great up there. If you see, I don't think that he's putting the weight on bad. I think he's putting it on right. Then his fighting style, it'll mimic up there very well. I think he'll be all right. He doesn't get hit hard a lot. I think that his wrestling and everything, he'll be good for the heavyweights. He's a lot faster than all of them. And if you see his brothers that play in the NFL, they're big guys. So I don't think that having that much more size on him is going to make him unathletic. I think he'll still be good. I think he's going to end up being a champion.
I think he should have done it a while ago, because I think the fans get a little bored, honestly, when a champion is in a weight class for so long, kind of dominates. And I think us as fighters need to challenge ourselves, and I'm proud of him for doing that. I think the fans are going to love seeing it. Hopefully that he'll be the same monster he was at 205, and the fans will get what they want.
It's been so long, I don't even know. Because if you look at his last couple of performances, he didn't look that good. So he looked very human is what I'm trying to say. Even though he won, don't get me wrong, he looked very human. So moving up to heavyweight, fighting these savages.
Jon Jones moved up to heavyweight, and I think he can get it done. I think he's going to look good at heavyweight, and about time, because we've all been waiting.
And how do you think he will do at heavyweights?
Well, Jon Jones is the best in the world, man, and that's not just in my weight class. That's across all weight classes. I think there's some interesting challenges that are at heavyweight for him. Aside from the top three guys, maybe. I think Jon Jones does whatever he wants to any other heavyweight in the division. I think your guys like Francis Ngannou, Curtis Blaydes, Stipe. I think those guys create some interesting problems for him. Just some of them in size, some of them in power and mobility. So some of them in just their body types, and some of them in their skills. And I think those three guys create some interesting problems for him. But I'm not. Jon Jones can beat any of those guys.
I think he does phenomenal. I don't see a whole lot of guys at heavyweight that are going to give Jon. Jon is a heavyweight. He just sucks himself down to 205 pounds. He walks around. He's got to be 230, 240. Like he's Stipe's size already. So, and in feeling him when we were in there, he was north of 220 when we fought. So I mean, if we only added another 10 pounds to him, he's the same guy. I just don't see a lot of he's just built perfectly for fighting. He's 6'5" or 6'6" with a huge reach advantage, and the way that he manages distance with his kicks and stuff, like the shorter, stockier guys aren't going to give him too many problems. His clinch work and his grappling is so dangerous. Even I can't really like Stipe will give him problems. I think a guy like Volkov will give him his body type, his reach, and his the way that Stipe wrestles and the way that he grapples. That's a tough. Francis is a tough fight for Stipe. I think Jon Jones clinches Francis, trips him, and mauls him. But you can't ever count out Francis. That dude's got grenades in his hands. So I don't know. I think he beats most of them, and there's less than a handful of guys that